So this is probably one of the most watched portions of our orientations because this is how do you actually access your classes? It's what we get lots of emails about. Classes are starting next week. Now what? So I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna stop my video because you don't need to see me since I'm sharing my screen. And then let me share my screen here really quick. Okay, so again, this is going to be recorded and being sent to you. So I'm going to discuss two big pieces of technology you'll be using as a participant in this program. Hold on, something came up on my thing. Okay, you've actually already used both of these pieces when you went through your application process to do your assessments, but I'm going to discuss more closely how they relate to your participation in your courses. And while this program is made up of a consortium of the four universities, like we've been talking about, the Ivy Tech system is what you are going to use to actually complete the program. It's why you did your assessments through your My Ivy for your English and math assessment, and your computer assessment, your IT assessment through your Ivylearn. So everything's done through the Ivy Tech system, even though it is a consortium of the four institutions. So tonight we're going to be looking at My Ivy, which is your student portal, and we're going to be looking at Ivylearn, which is how it's our online learning management system. That's how you actually access your courses for the virtual lectures, your coursework, your syllabus, etc. So we're looking at My Ivy and we're looking at Ivylearn. There will be an email that gets sent to you from your program managers that will also have some of this information in it as well. And again, you'll have this part to watch again once the recorded orientation is sent to you. So if you miss something, that's okay. You can always go back and watch this. So there are several different ways to get to both the My Ivy and Ivylearn. The first is going to be through the Ivy Tech website, which is just ivytech.edu. Which is where I am at. Okay, yeah, you guys should be able to see my screen. You will see here in the upper right-hand corner, there is a link for My Ivy, which again is your student portal. And there's a link for Ivylearn, which is the learning management system. So you can get to it here. You can also get to it by going to My Ivy directly, which is just myivy.ivytech.edu. I would just bookmark My Ivy because that is also how you can get to Ivylearn. So I would just recommend bookmarking this, your My Ivy account, so that you can easily get back to it. So to log in, you're going to log in using your Ivy Tech email address and the password that you developed when you created your account. Ivy Tech does not keep records of your passwords. So if you've forgotten your password, you need to just click on the reset or forgot password link. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Mine is automatically, so you'll put in your Ivy Tech. Make sure you're using your Ivy Tech email when you log in. So your portal, your My Ivy portal, will look slightly different than mine because you have a student view where I have a staff view, but a lot of the information is going to be the same. The concepts are going to be the same. So there are two pieces that you want to become familiar with within My Ivy for this program. There are a lot of links in your My Ivy that are just not going to be applicable to this program because it is a non-credit program. Essentially anything here under My Info is not going to pertain to you guys. Also, there is a student schedule. If you go under the support, there's a student schedule that you can look at. Your classes will not be on that student schedule because they're non-credit classes. That's why you got an email to confirm your registration. If you never got that email from me to confirm your registration, check in your spam folders because sometimes our emails go to the spam folders, and that would have been sent to your Ivy Tech emails. So if you click on my schedule, which is usually here under my info, it's not here, but again, your schedule won't show. So 2 pieces that you really need to know here within my Ivy is accessing Ivylearn, as well as your student email, okay? Because of student privacy laws, you need to be using your Ivy Tech email for this program. And really, honestly, that's where your instructors expect you to email from as well. If they see a personal email, they may not email you back because they don't know who that's coming from. So make sure you're using your Ivy Tech emails. Okay. Both the student email and Ivylearn should be listed in your quick links section here in the middle. You can see here is Ivylearn on mine. You should also have student email in yours. Again, mine's going to look slightly different because I'm a staff member and we use Office 365 for our email as opposed to Gmail, which is what is the student emails use. Okay. If you do not see Ivylearn and the student email, and it's just called student email. Let me show you guys here how it looks. It's just called student email. If you do not see those in your quick links, you can go here to see all and search for it, and it'll come up, student email. And then if you click the little heart, it allows you to save it in your favorites so that it will then come up here in my favorites, but it should be in your guys' quick links as a student, okay? So like I mentioned, due to student privacy laws, your Ivy Tech email should be the email you're using to communicate for this program. This is how you should send emails to us, and this is how we will send emails to you at this point. So please make sure you're checking your Ivy Tech email regularly. The Ivy Tech's email is run through Gmail. So what sometimes can happen is if you have a personal Gmail account, so your personal email is a Gmail account, and if you have your password saved on your computer for that, when you click on student email, it will take you to your personal email sometimes, as opposed to your Ivy Tech email. So if this happens, you're either going to need to log out of your personal Gmail account and then log into your Ivy Tech email. Or what I personally recommend is that you add an account in Gmail. That will allow you easily to access both your personal and student emails. You can easily Google how to add an account in Gmail if you don't know how to do that. So just Google add account in Gmail, and there should be step-by-step instructions on how to do that. When you add the account, the email address is going to be the Ivy Tech email address and your password that you set up. So that will allow you to easily go back and forth between the 2 accounts in your web browser or even in the Gmail app. So make sure you're checking your Ivy Tech email, please. Now, the big piece I know you've all been waiting for. How exactly do you complete your virtual classes? How do I even get started in this? Again, these are going to be through Ivylearn. So if you're already in your My Ivy, or if you're on that main Ivy Tech website, you're simply going to click on Ivylearn. That will take you to the Ivylearn page, okay? Again, you can bookmark this so that you could go directly to Ivylearn if you want. So you'll notice when you go in, and it may ask you to sign in, it's going to be your Ivy Tech information. It didn't ask me to do it because I was already on it earlier today. So the first thing I want to point out is on this left-hand side of Ivylearn, you are going to see an inbox here in the menu, okay? This is not the same thing as your student email. Again, this is not your student email. So sometimes what happens is I say, hey, I sent you an email, and students will go into here and say, hey, I never got it. Well, that's because this is not your student email. This is just another way for you to communicate with your instructors and your classes, but you can only communicate with your instructors and your classes through this. Like if you needed to send me an email as a program manager, you can't do it through here. You'd have to do it through your Ivy Tech email. So let me show you an example of what this looks like. If I go here into the inbox, you essentially can find your course. I'm just going to choose something here. And it'll show you all of the conversations that are associated with that course. I don't know if I can here, like Excel. So like I could, here's an email I sent to my Excel instructor one time. So like if you create a message, you can select the course. And then it'll allow you to send that message to the instructor. So it'll look like it's coming from your Ivy Tech to that instructor. You can set up in your account for these messages to go to your Ivy Tech email. So again, this is not the same thing as your Ivy Tech email, but it is another way to communicate with your instructors and classmates of your classes, okay? But again, like if you wanted to send me an email or your program manager, you're not going to be able to do it through here because we're not associated with your classes. You would just have to do that through your normal Ivy Tech email. Okay. So I don't want you to get confused thinking this is your Ivy Tech email. Okay. So let me go back to my dashboard is where it always opens. Now your courses will either be here on your dashboard. Okay, they will show up here, or they will be listed here under the courses menu item. It is important to note the courses will not show up on Ivylearn until 48 hours before the first class meeting. So if you go on there right now, your classes are not going to be on there. So we do not, Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So the Monday, Wednesday classes do not, the Monday, Wednesday class does not meet on Monday next week. Your first day will be Wednesday because of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We are closed on Monday. So the session technically starts on Tuesday. So if you're in a Monday, Wednesday class, the class should show up. It may show up on Saturday. Or it may not show up till Monday since your first day is Wednesday. I'm not sure how that's going to be with the holiday. If you're in a Tuesday, Thursday class, the class should show up there on Sunday. If you're in a Saturday, Sunday class, it's not going to show up till next Thursday. So 48 hours before the class begins, it should show up here on your dashboard or in this courses menu, okay? Even if it shows up, the instructor may not publish the course until the day it starts. If you're not seeing it here on the dashboard or in this list, I have a pretty big list because I have other stuff. You can always click on all courses and it may show up there. That'll show you all your current enrollment as well as past enrollments. You can kind of see here, it'll tell you whether the class is published or not. So if it says no, that just means the instructor hasn't published it yet, which means that they're probably not ready to publish it yet. So it may not be published until the first day of class, okay? But when it's up, when it's published, all you're simply going to do, let me go back to my dashboard, to access your class is click on the class. Now I am going to go, I'm actually going to go into one of my past classes to show you how it looks. Let me, okay. So I'm using one of my past courses as an example to show you what the course will actually look like once you go in. Okay, this is a 4-credit class I took a Linux class through Ivy Tech. The main reason I'm showing you through this class is because it was a virtual class where we had to access the class via Zoom. So that's one thing that you guys need to know is how do you watch the lectures, okay? So this is what it looks like when you actually go in. You're going to see the course menu here on the left, okay? There's not really much you can mess up in here. So go in and explore once it becomes active, okay? You will see announcements here under the announcements tab. That is where your instructor will post announcements. You'll want to carefully read the syllabus, which is under the syllabus option. You're going to want to read your syllabus very carefully when it gets posted. The modules tab is where you will go to look at your coursework. Now, some of the classes do utilize other programs, such as things called NetLab and NetAcad. You will be given instructions on how to access those things here within the Ivylearn, either in the syllabus or possibly through an announcement. So your modules may direct you to some of those outside resources, the NetAcad and NetLab, depending on the class. There may be other ones that I just can't recall off the top of my head. So, and then there is a grades link. However, your grades may not be posted in here. They may be posted in those outside resources, the NetAcad or NetLab. Again, it's all going to depend. But this is how you access the stuff for your class. So the big piece you need to know for your virtual classes is how to not only access the live lecture via Zoom, but how do you watch the recorded Zoom lectures in case you can't make it to the designated day and time of your course. So to access your lectures, either live or recorded, all you are simply going to do is click on the Zoom link here on the left, okay? All you have to do is click on Zoom. Uh-oh. Hopefully, I don't know what that message was, but, and here you will see several tabs. You're going to see upcoming meetings, previous meetings. There's a personal meeting room. That one actually looks new. And then there's cloud recordings. Okay. This is a class I took way back in fall of 2020. So there are obviously no upcoming meetings because it's a class in the past, but here is where for you guys, all of your future courses, class sessions will be listed here for you to access. And you'll just simply click on there will be like a link that you guys will click on that to access that day's lecture, okay? You can go back and look at previous meetings. Your previous meetings will be listed because this class was so long ago. That's why they're not being listed. But if you missed a lecture, you can go back and say, okay, I missed Tuesday, the whatever, I need to watch that lecture. You'll simply click on it. And there'll be a link for the recording, or you can even go under cloud recordings and click on those. And that's where you can then access the recording. Okay. So if you're attending the live lecture, that will be listed under the upcoming meetings. If you need to watch a recording, you would want to go to the cloud recordings. Okay. And you'll just, again, simply click on it and it should then take you to the Zoom that you need, okay? If on your first day there don't appear to be any upcoming meetings listed, please check your announcements tab, as the instructor may have just put a link in the announcements. Check your syllabus, they may have put it in there, or check your Ivy Tech email. They may have emailed you that information until they can actually get it up on this Zoom link. So if they're not listed in the upcoming meetings, check those other 2 or 3 places to see if they maybe temporarily emailed that information to you until they get it up on the actual Zoom page, okay? Just a note, most of these classes, actually all of these classes, happen outside of normal business hours, okay? So if you are having trouble getting onto your class on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Central, you can email your program manager to let them know you're having an issue, but we're probably not going to respond until the next day because we're not in the office, okay? So program managers and support staff will more than likely not be able to assist you until the next day if you are having problems accessing the courses. So your best bet, if you're having problem accessing the course, is to email your instructor. Let's say, hey, I can't find my Zoom link. Zoom's not working. Contact your instructor. They may be busy getting the class going, so they may not see it. But just remember, if you happen to miss it because you just can't get on that first day, you can go back and watch it later. Okay, so don't freak out if you miss your first day because you're just having technical difficulties, things like that. Just get onto the cloud recording later and watch the class. Okay. Last thing, Ivylearn is through a company called Canvas. So that's probably on here somewhere. Canvas does have, anyway, it's through Canvas is the company that runs Ivylearn. It's just called Ivylearn through our system. There is a Canvas app that you can download on your phone. Okay. You won't really be able to do your homework and stuff through the app. But it is really handy for looking at a calendar to see when assignments are due. That inbox is in there if you need to message your instructor really quick. Things like that. So the Canvas app can be handy for just doing easy, simple tasks like that. So I do recommend you download the Canvas app, and that's Canvas, Canvas. You would use your Ivy Tech information to verify and sign up for that. So that is kind of Canvas, Ivylearn, and my Ivy in a nutshell. And again, just remember, you make sure you're checking your Ivy Tech emails.